Welcome
That's
back
gonna
to
be it.
New Script on the Block. My name is Graham Pritchard. I am here virtually along with Alyssa Eshelman, Nero Manalo, and Ashley Hakes. Today we are doing Before the Scene, and we are doing Parasite. Everyone say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Sup? Hey, audience, if you agree that Graham sounded like a robot for the first part of that introduction, go ahead and comment or leave a like.
Or even if he didn't sound like a robot, you should still comment
Yes,
and leave a
please.
like.
Create a
Hit
poll.
that bell notification. All of
Okay.
Okay, great. This is going really well.
I'm on page 97. All right, we're good.
Yeah, so I don't know who anybody is, like the names of people. Like I don't know who Yo Cairo is or Yon Cairo.
Who has all seen this movie?
I guess me and Graham are the only people who've seen it.
I want to watch it, but I need to get some alone time away from Ryan to do it because he refuses with subtitles.
He's
But-
gotta watch it. Like it's a must
But,
see.
What if you read it to him?
Just
Like,
dub
what
it.
Read it out
Subtitles to him.
Just
Yeah.
dub it to him.
I think that's a great plan. Why don't we make ourselves a Parasite fan dub, and then we'll have
Dude.
Ryan watch it.
I mean, we have the script
my
right
God.
here.
I know, we can start right now.
Yeah.
We're going straight into the script. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you're cleaning dishes or you're making food or something, can you mute your mic?
Claire, can you stop doing that?
No, wait.
She made a face. She made a face at us.
No.
This is the best episode yet, for
She
sure.
came.
It's
She
hands
came at me
down.
sideways like a cat. Her back is up.
Are we recording?
Yes,
I'm
we are.
scared.
Interior, mansion, living room, night. The family quietly crosses the living room toward the garage entrance. They stop. They make a quick detour to the coffee table where Ki Jung is still hiding. They are helping her out from under the table when they suddenly hear footsteps thundering down the stairs. Fast. Ki Jung hides under the table again. Having nowhere to go, Ki Woo and Ki Taek also crawl underneath. Chung Suk turns to see Da Sung running down the stairs dressed in a raincoat. He's wearing a backpack and also has a folded teepee strapped across his shoulders.
Da Song, slow down.
Dangling all kinds of camping gear over his raincoat, Da Sung storms through the living room and heads to the garden. He opens the glass door and jumps out into the pouring rain. He then starts building a teepee in the middle of the yard. He's quick, efficient, a true scout. Yang Kyo and Dong Ik yell at Da Song as they rush down the stairs.
Dasan, are you crazy?
Dasong Park. I can't believe this.
Yang Kyo and Dong Ik hesitate at the door, still in their pajamas. Chung Suk brings 2 umbrellas, and they finally go out. Da Sung has already finished setting up the teepee and is now working on the inside. Ki Taek, Ki Woo, and Ki Jung attempt to make a run while Yang Kyo and Dong Ik are outside. They start wiggling their way out when Da Hae comes running down the stairs. They quickly wiggle back. What the fuck is going on here? Da Hae watches her parents pleading with Da Sung in the rain. Pathetic. She shoots a video game and said, She shoots a video game?
There's no game.
There's no game. I'm sorry. I don't know
Just
why.
programmed into
Get
Ashley's
your mind
brain.
off of playing video games.
Ugh. I'm sorry. All I could think about are my turnips. Anyway, she shoots a video and sends it to none other than Mr. Kevin, a.k.a. Ki Woo, whose phone vibrates just a few feet from her under the table. Ki Woo quickly silences his phone. Chung Suk coughs to cover the sound. She glances over at Da Hae to see if Da Hae heard it too. She did. Da Hae looks around, confused. Ki Woo hurriedly switches his phone to silence mode. Ki Taek and Ki Jung do the same. Da Hae's text messages crowd Ki Woo's screen. Text messages. SMH? What is that?
Shaking
It's an
my head.
acronym. Just read it
Shaking
as
my
a
head.
thing.
Shaking my head. Da Sung's crazy rain dance. I hate my brother. Totes saw this coming. Started losing his shit at camp. LMAO. Or laugh my ass off. I miss you. Me too. Selfie, please. No. Why not? I'm with you right now. Oh, that's creepy. Okay. Dahae continues to exchange cringe-inducing love texts with Ki-woo as she plops down on the sofa. Ki-taek, Ki-woo, and Ki-jung nearly shriek when Dahae's wiggling feet come within inches of their faces. Meanwhile, Young-kyo and Dong-ik give up on Da-sung and return to the living room. Chung-suk takes their umbrellas and hands them a couple of towels. She nervously looks over at the coffee table.
You should go to sleep in the room. We'll stay here with Da-sung.
You too. Stop looking at your phone and go to your room.
Without answering, Dahae gets up and stomps up the stairs, never looking up once from her phone. Chun-suk looks back at the living room with a worried face as she goes to the kitchen. Yang-kyo and Don-ik sit down on the sofa, now directly facing Ki-taek, Ki-woo, and Ki-jung. Don-ik presses a button on his walkie-talkie.
Dad to Da-sung. Dad to Da-sung. Currently standing by in the living room. I'll be here all night, so call me if there's an emergency.
Copy that. Over and out.
Da-sung's voice on the radio sounds excited. He got his wish after all. Don-ik lets out a weak laugh.
This is incredible. You don't think the TP will leak, do you?
I bought it directly from an American vendor. I think it should be okay.
Your son is quite unpredictable. Never easy, I'll say.
Kyo feels like it's her fault.
He's been getting better. Look, signing him up for the Cub Scouts definitely paid off. See how fast he set up that tent?
Outside the window, the teepee lights up. Lanterns are lit inside, one after another. It's picturesque, a teepee emitting a pleasant orange glow against the backdrop of beautiful trees, seen through the shimmering veil of pouring rain. Don-ik turns off the living room lights and places a few cushions on Young-kyo's side.
Let's just sleep here on the sofa tonight. We'll be able to see the tent from here.
That sounds good. That way we can keep an eye on Da-sung.
Ki-taek, Ki-woo, and Ki-jung turn ashen. They're fucked. Yeah, they are. Don-ik lies down in the spooning position behind Young-kyo. It's quite romantic, both of them in their pajamas, tightly snuggled up on the sofa.
Hold on. I know that smell.
What?
This is Mr. Kim's smell.
Mr. Kim? Are you sure? I don't know what you're talking about.
Don-ik and Young-kyo both sniff the air. Ki-taek becomes nervous. He smells his t-shirt.
I guess you don't know. I sit behind him every day, so I know the smell.
Like poor people smell?
No, it's not that strong. It's more like a subtle aroma that seeps into the air.
Ah, like old people smell.
No. How should I put it? Maybe the smell of an old radish pickle? Or that smell when you're washing a dirty rag?
Ki-taek tries his best to keep a straight face under the table.
I mean, I like his driving, and the man never crosses the line. Sometimes he teeters very close, but he never actually crosses it. That's all great, but that smell, it definitely crosses the line. It just creeps into the back seat and surrounds you.
You think that's what Da-sung was talking about?
It's hard to explain. I smell it when I ride the subway sometimes.
I haven't ridden the subway in forever.
There's this unique smell that subway commuters have.
End. Right there.
No, keep it going.
No, stop!
Keep it going.
We want to get to the dirty stuff.
Do it.
No.
We're talking about dirty smells. Ki-taek, Ki-woo, and Ki-jung can do nothing but silently take care after
No!
it.
Well, I mean, we're editing that out anyway, so it's no big deal.
What a sweet married couple.
No, the sex scene!
Do you guys want to talk about the script now?
Yeah, for Ashley and Melissa, because you guys haven't seen it, what are your guys', and I know you haven't seen the scene, but what are your guys' first impressions?
I mean, it sucks, like, what situation they're in. So, it's like one of those, just one thing right after another, bad things happening. Like, they come home too soon, so now they're stuck there. So it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna wait until they, go to bed. And oh, well, it's so nice. Let's just sleep right here on the couch. And it's like, God damn it! So that the context of the scene is funny, but also that sucks. I would not want to be in their situation. And then especially now that, you know, the dad kind of smells them and is like, oh, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what the scene looks like. But I mean, I can picture things happening as we're reading it, and I want to know how accurate it is to the script.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what the environment looks like in the way they shot it, because it's pretty descriptive, honestly, in the script. Like, they did a really good job of establishing the environment and the way the actions are written.
Yeah.
So you have an idea of the placement of things and where people physically are at comparative to one another. It's nice. I mean, I think it's a pretty good read. I could see that, like, there are a lot of characters that are talked about in this scene because so many people are coming in and out of the space at any given time. So I feel like, you know, if you're an American who doesn't read a lot of foreign language content regularly, then I could see how that could maybe throw a wrench in the readability.
Yeah.
But
I don't read a lot of Korean stuff, so my bad.
Yeah. Like, if you started at the beginning, though, I feel like if you start at the beginning of the script and weren't just coming in at a random scene, though, you'd get used to it.
Yeah.
I like to imagine.
Oh, for sure.
So I feel like we jumped into it so quickly, but I mean, despite that, I mean, I read a lot of manhwa, so, like, I'm not that thrown by it, but Ashley, like, I think you even were able to pretty comfortably follow what's going on in the scene, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was able to know that, you know, someone's coming home. You can hear that there's, you know, footsteps, and, you know, they wiggle back into under the table, and then there's a little kid that goes into like the backyard or whatever and sets up a tent, and yeah, like I was able to follow along pretty easily.
Well, I feel like even in this one scene, we learned a lot about the characters, like who they are as people, what their relationships are.
That's part of the reason of why I think this is like a perfect one to do, because this movie is very much about upper class and lower class. And although you're rooting for the parasites because that's kind of who the story revolves around, you should really be rooting for the upper class, because what the parasites are like, they're literally parasites using these rich people. But it's sad to hear them having to hide, and then the rich father saying, like, what's that smell, and talking about the poor people that are serving them, basically. It's a very intense scene.
Oof.
Yeah, but I also feel like the dialogue's almost like semi-indifferent in that part, right? Like, it's almost like it feels ignorant, as though he doesn't intend what he's saying as to be insulting.
Right.
Because the wife even, like, tries to almost make it sound worse than it is, and then as he gets to describing it, it's like more like he's describing a very familiar specific scent, and less like he's comparing his scent to, you know, his status in life. So I thought that was interesting. I like the way I've seen, like, text messages written into scripts in so many flippin' ways. This happens to be a really easy to follow conversation because it's just a back and forth between two people, and there's no one who's, like, managing the conversation or saying more than the other person. But in a scenario in which, like, let's say that one of the characters, like, it's Dahae and Kiwoo, if she was sending more messages than he was and hers were stacked on top of each other or something, then this style wouldn't really work.
Yeah.
Because they don't explicitly say, like, who sent what message. We read it and we know who sent it by assumption.
Because I'm looking at it again, and some of these are just slightly italicized. So, like, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 text messages, I believe, would be Dahe's. And then the ones that are italicized would be Kiwu's, I believe.
I can't tell that from my monitor. Like, I'm not seeing any separation or italicization on them.
Yeah, I see the first one looks a little different to me, but I feel like it switches back and forth for the most part. That's what I assumed, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see, like, so we obviously know the first message is her, and then she says, I hate my brother. That has to be her, because she's talking about her brother. Totes saw this coming. That has to be her. The LMAO is the only one that's like, it could be her, it could be him, but I'm assuming it's her. And then I think that he doesn't respond until me too. Like, I think she says, I miss you. He says, me too.
But let's say selfie, please.
Yeah, she says selfie, please. And he says no, which is because he's under the table, but she doesn't know that.
Right.
And she says, why not? And then he says, I'm with you right now.
I'm with you right now, yeah. Which is like, that's a little creepy.
It is creepy. Especially because he's under the table.
Exactly, yeah.
But that's assuming that we do understand the order the texts are going in, which is, again, like, I don't see that italicization you're talking about, or italicization. Oh boy. I can't see any separation.
Hey Ash, you're not crazy. I see it.
Oh, good.
It is italicized. Any response coming
like...
from Kiwu, it's italicized.
Well, then, did we guess it correctly?
Yeah, you did.
Did he say,
yeah,
it's me too, no, and I'm with you right now.
Okay, awesome.
Did you guys catch anything culturally unfamiliar, or just being that this is a Korean script?
Other than the names, no.
Besides the names, yeah.
I mean, it sounded like this could happen anywhere. Like, not necessarily, you know, in where they're at.
And I think that's why it was so successful as a movie. Like, once you kind of understand the dynamic of the conflict, it's like you can easily see this as any sort of Western film, but being Korean, you know, it has its like before all of this is going on, before this scene, when they are kind of like partying, they are actually having like a Korean-based like family dinner. But I guess you can see it as, oh, they're just having dinner, but there is something about it that's strictly Korean in nature. But I don't know if the clip we're going to watch is going to show that. But other than that, and the fact that Chung Suk, which, by the way, that's the mother of the poor family, which Graham perfectly portrayed.
Thanks, Sarah.
No problem. I mean, did you catch like that she's a kind of like a servant to the Richer family?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know if it's like a normal Western thing to have like those types of servants, but like in the Philippines, it's like it is. And in
kind of
some
like
Asian areas,
it's like a house, like a housemaid, like a live-in maid or a nanny.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what I thought of it as.
Yeah, having a driver or like Ashley said, like nannies, maids, housekeepers. That's not that unusual.
Not for us, but for
right. For
off people,
the 1%ers.
Oh,
yeah.
Also, I don't know if it said it or not, but I don't know if Chung Suk is actually the real name, because I know they use fake names like Mr. Kim and such for the dude who's texting, but I didn't
Mr.
catch
Kevin.
it. Yeah. So I'm not sure if they were like going back and forth. Okay.
That might have made the whole thing even more confusing.
Yeah, it would have added like 4 more names.
I mean, it's weird because I know you said that this is kind of a thriller, but this was a funny scene, or I thought it was funny.
I know, yeah.
Oh man. I think after this scene, it becomes that thriller.
I mean,
Well,
this
Right,
is,
Graham?
because-
yeah, and I would say even this is a little like maybe when you watch the scene, like this scene's actually like pretty intense just because like they're hiding and they feel like they're gonna be found. So I think there's a little bit of that
Mhm.
thriller, but it is kind of a little comedic. Especially like the rich couple was talking about how they bought the tent from America. Like I don't know whose audience this was targeted at. Like I don't know if this premiered in Korea or if it was like because I know it did very amazing in America with the Academy Awards and everything. So I don't know where it was targeted, but with them joking about buying something from America and it working, which I thought that was comedic because I feel like a lot of our shit is crappy.
Not true, Graham.
Is that not true?
That's definitely not true. They're saying that mostly because
Yeah.
Chinese manufacturers kind of like overwhelm the market and to like buy something American, like a pretty picturesque like tent. Especially in the scene, you'll see what the tent looks like, but
Yeah.
it's like Pendleton blankets or whatever. There's like that American, this is quilted in America.
Yeah, I think that in the context of the scene too, the way she says it, like the delivery is that it shouldn't have any leaks or problems because she got it from an American vendor.
Right. I got that part. I just figured like I feel like we buy a lot of stuff from China. So I think that's where I kind of misunderstood that.
Well, we buy a lot of stuff from China because we're cheap. And I think that's kind of the point is that they buy shit that's American made because it's more expensive.
Probably.
Yeah, that makes
No.
sense.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, which for a wealthy family, I'm sure is not a big deal.
Definitely shows their wealth more that they bought it from America and had it shipped to Korea.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to hop into the scene. I mean, do you guys have any other comments about the script writing?
I don't.
I mean, once we got the names familiarized, I don't, like for our audience, before we started, this was quite the endeavor to like divvy out roles, but once we got it, right?
We made it this
And
far.
that's something we just gotta be aware that like movies, they're not always gonna be, Americanized, where we have to get used to names, different people's
On the
names.
subject
Yeah.
of on the subject of Americanized, though, I don't know if you guys like thought of this or cared, but I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Cub Scouts, I was like, "What the fuck? Like, is that a thing in other countries?" Because I thought that was an American thing.
Well, but also wasn't this script like translated? Like maybe they just translated it to Cub Scouts because that's what Americans
What we
are.
recognize.
No,
Yeah,
it's like legit
and-
the Cubs, like the
Oh,
Boy
really?
Scouts. Yeah.
Like the same
Oh.
program.
Okay, well then, cool.
But that was a fun fact. I did
Yep.
not assume that was a worldwide
Mhm.
organization.
Mhm.
All right. Do we want to watch the scene?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by Arizona Studios. Arizona Studios, a full-service video content specialist. We're here to illuminate your message and compel your audience to take the right action. For more information, head to our website at arizonastudios.com and be sure to tune in for more content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Cool. So for the people in this podcast who haven't seen it, Alyssa and Ash, how do you feel about seeing the scene?
Well, if I ever become rich, Matt and I are having matching pajamas.
Matching pajama set. Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah.
ridiculous.
You don't
Yeah.
have to be rich to do that.
But it would just feel
I'm-
right.
I'm
Oops.
I'm pretty sure you can do that whenever you wanted to.
All right. Well, it's happening this year for Christmas.
Okay.
Sorry,
see,
Matt.
look,
You already know what you're getting for Christmas.
matching pajamas. So like
mean,
one for big and tall, and then one for a child.
Yes. Anyway.
Order from America, okay? So
I was expecting, of course, like, I just assume things without seeing them first. I just assumed that the table was going to be tall, and I thought it was kind of like, why are they hiding underneath the table? You can clearly see like anybody hiding under a table, but of course the tables are very low, and yeah, you can hide under them without being seen. Also, I don't see how that's a comfortable couch. It looks really stiff.
Sometimes when
but
you're
as far
rich,
as
you just
I
need
was
something
gonna
that
say,
looks
I
good.
I don't
guess
think
so.
comfort's their top priority.
Yeah.
Well, who knows how often they actually sit on that couch. But anyway, it really does just, do exactly what the script said, or well, what the script was.
Sorta. Not really.
There was a little.
Like, I felt like the dialogue was different.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I feel like it was there, but kind of like what we've said before of, the actors maybe just had a little bit more of a natural way of saying it.
Well, the translation
apart
can't
from
help
the
either.
script. True. But I don't know. I mean, it all felt like, all the parts that it needed to hit were there.
Yeah, I feel like so definitely when we're seeing the family, the rich family that live in the house, it has like a very lighthearted vibe that does stick to that kind of, cute, simple humor. But then when you cut to those shots where we see the family that's hiding under the table, it definitely has a more intense and serious feeling to it.
Especially with the dialogue. Like, dude's just roasting poor people.
Yeah,
Well,
again, I didn't totally perceive it that way.
He was just more of like trying to pinpoint exactly what the smell was, not necessarily saying like, ugh, poor people, bleh, they smell like this, like
I guess there's. I'm catching the subtext. Like, only poor people would commute via subway in Korea, or just the common folk. And how she said, I haven't rode one in like forever. Like, she doesn't even remember because she didn't have to, because commuting that way was like a big part of their lives.
I don't think that's so.
And
you're
the whole
you're using the word subtext, but I don't feel like that's what we're talking about, right? Like, I get what the writer is trying to portray, which is from the outside looking in at these ignorant, wealthy people, what they're saying sounds, really pretentious, but I don't think that's their subtext. Like, what they feel and are saying is just normal, regular life to them. Like, they don't think of it like, they're not intentionally trying to insult, but what they're saying is inherently insulting to a person who isn't wealthy.
Well, and I think it feels insulting because we're watching Mr. Kim and his family, like, under the table listening to this conversation and him being very self-conscious about it.
Exactly. But that's what the writer wants you to feel and think. I don't think these characters aren't saying it like because they're vindictive or something.
Right.
I think they are, just because of the context of the rest of the film, before and after this scene.
I mean,
but that's just me.
But this is them when they're alone and they have no one to vindicate against. Like, no one is there for them to personally attack. They don't know that they're there.
I mean, I think they're very pretentious, and because the entire movie they say things like this, but it's just because of privilege and them being rich.
Yeah.
No,
like,
they don't know any better.
That's the vibe I get, is it's privilege. Yeah, like ignorant privilege.
Yeah. With it being like a comedy, it's like a comedy on the outside of the table, and then when you go under the table, it's like very intense and uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure. I got that vibe. Like, even how they're interacting with the son, like the dad on the walkie-talkie and them going out to him, and it just felt very much like they have this very like casual, happy-go-lucky, like regular life, and meanwhile these other people, they're completely unaware that these other people are uncomfortable and being insulted and being harmed. It's like just by living their life the way they live it, even though they're just living their content, happy way, it's hurting other people inherently.
Yeah.
Hey, also with the context of I'm here with you right now, he's just saying that like, hey, I'm talking to you through this phone. Not like he's trying to be
not
cute.
like being creepy. Yeah.
It's like I'm here with you right now. You know, I'm talking, we're texting.
Yeah, I definitely think that the dialogue that we read for the text messages was not like an exact match for what the interaction is in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like crazy far off.
Yeah.
Saving it. Yeah. That's with everything else, I think,
Yeah.
with the dialogue. It's like just minor changes here and there, but whatever flowed better or whatever they felt like doing. I wish you guys like saw a little bit before this what the clip was, because it showed them like having that dinner and literally they were eating like a full spread and they just just push it off and then underneath the couch.
Yeah.
So when the father's like, "Do you smell that?" I'm like, dude, what don't you smell? They had barbecue
Yeah,
like
they had,
on
like,
that thing.
extravagant dinner.
You know, it's like you're just there's beer and glass and stuff, and you're like all you smell is radishes. Kind of. and yeah,
Well,
you know what? That might not be. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's just I was kind of confused because so they were supposed to be on a camping trip or something.
Yes.
You said.
Yes.
Okay. But then they like come down the stairs and they're in their pajamas.
Look, like where the clip starts is there's definitely a moment of escape when so when they get home, they are like, you know, back from camping and they go upstairs to get changed. And during that time, that's when they're like trying to escape, and that's when the clip starts. Them like running around the wall just away from the couch and trying to drag her out, the sister. Like that was just a brief moment of opportunity, but just before then they hid underneath and while they were coming in, and so they did just get into their pajamas like super quick and went downstairs.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, wait, they're like already all comfy and cozy, and wait, they just got back. What?
Yeah, I that adds to what you were saying earlier, just the chaos of them trying to escape and having an opportunity to do so, and they keep missing that opportunity. Like, shit, because one person wanted to sit on the couch, and someone wanted to do a text message.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm going back and I'm kind of like skimming some of the dialogue as we're talking because, you know, fortunately it's all subtitled. And I honestly feel like some of the way it's written in the script that we're reading from is slightly off, but more importantly, the way it's written in the script like almost makes the characters come off even more like snarky and like egotistical than what it reads as here. Like the conversation that the text message conversation, even like the female character, she comes across in the script like it's very like Valley Girl-esque and, you know, kind of almost like a high-strung, like trying really hard to be a teenage girl, and versus when you're reading their conversation, like when she talks about her brother, it's not quite as like mocking on him as it was in the script. So she doesn't read as mean as she did in the original, in the script, assuming, you know, again, we don't know based on it being translated how that affects it. And then the conversation between the husband and wife about the smell too, I feel like there's some verbiage that was used in the script that's more gratuitously like insulting in nature versus in this conversation, like it cuts out some of the words that would be harsher. Like I think in the script he compares them to smelling like a wet rag or something like that, and that's not in there.
A radish?
I think he
I thought it
says
was.
like it smells like you're boiling a dirty rag
Oh yeah.
in the
Yeah.
scene in the clip.
Well, didn't he say something else about a radish?
Yeah, he says
Yeah.
that too.
Where is it? Oh, there.
But yeah, when you guys finally see it, you'll understand why I'm like wondering why he's only smelling a radish. Oh man.
Or that smell when you're washing a dirty rag. That's what he says. When you're washing a dirty rag?
It smelled good with all the soap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I know what he's talking about. Like, I understand that smell.
Well, I know that smell too.
Yeah. It's definitely not what I call pleasant, but it's also not like severely bad. It's just
Well, he's
it
not
is
like
a distinct scent.
he's definitely not like very disgusted about it. It's like, oh, when you like wash a dirty rag or radishes,
Yeah.
which
I
is
mean, it
funny.
would
They
seem
should
like-
all smell like radishes because of the kimchi culture
Yeah.
Oh,
He,
yeah.
like,
in
he
Korea.
looks like the actor who plays the wealthy dad. He looks like in the scene he's mostly
Yes.
just like he's just tired, he's like worn out, he's having a very casual, what seems to him like a very casual conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That won't last for long.
Uh-oh. I like that I just like both of their interactions with their son of just like, oh, be careful out there, and then the dad, with the walkie-talkie and like, all right, I'll be here if you need me, over, and then the kid is, okay, over.
Oh yeah, that's like an ongoing thing with the radio and the between the dad and the son, the rich dad and the son.
Oh, really?
They have that. Yeah, they keep saying that, like how they communicate is like with the
Uh-huh.
radio speak and saying over like that.
Roger.
Hey, I will
Roger.
say just a brief tangent is that on the comment section down the YouTube clip,
Mhm.
someone said that Mr. Park, who is the rich dad, that his voice sounds like an anime antagonist.
Oh man, for sure. Yeah.
It's like very deep voice.
Yeah, like I can all of a sudden see him just becoming like very evil or something.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
no,
you
I'm
guys
sorry,
watch it
the-
sometime
the-
soon.
I'm
Yeah.
re-watching it. Sorry, just to be clear. In the script he says, or that smell when you're washing a dirty rag. In the clip he says, when you boil a rag.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just those mild differences though, but when you leave out like dirty,
Yeah.
or pickled, like, you know what I mean, they don't sound as severe.
Yeah.
I guess that's the
I get that.
point I was trying to make before is like it definitely
Unless
seems,
the translation is definitely different.
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we need
Right.
to learn
We
Korean
can start-
and read the actual script.
Start learning Korean, yeah.
Well, not the actual script, just learn Korean and then watch the clip, and you're like, oh
yeah.
wait, they're just talking about something completely different.
So, like, where do you guys see the movie going from here? Do you have any idea, like, of what this is going to turn into? I know it's kind of off topic of this specific scene, but do you have any guesses?
I mean,
I have no clue.
yeah, I know literally nothing about this movie. I would guess that, I mean, based on the little you guys have told us, I could foresee that these, that the, like, less wealthy, the poor family, I could see them kind of having some sort of, uprising and progressively getting more violent, and it being kind of reminiscent of, a rebellion against the upper class. But I don't know.
Yeah, you'll just have to watch and see if you're right.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say, like, in regards to the clip and the script, when they do have like these moments, like on page 97, right underneath the scene heading, there's like they are helping out. They are helping her out from under the table when they suddenly hear, and so those like little moments match the cuts or the shots in the clip itself.
Yeah.
I think that might be like an editing guide, if anything, or just it just works in terms of like the sequence of events and those edits.
All right, well, does anyone else have anything to add about the film Parasite or this scene in particular?
Nope.
Okay, dope. Well, this has been an episode of New Scripts on the Block Before the Scene. Thank you for listening. Please leave us a comment. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends or with complete strangers if you don't have any friends. And tune in next week. All that good stuff. Okay, goodbye. You'll hear us next time.